Welcome to the session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice. What we'll do today, as we do in all the sessions, is go through a sequence of short practices. First, getting settled and centered, then awareness of presence in the space that we're in, then more connecting to the environment, and finally, kindness and compassion to ourselves and others. Now we'll start with our eyes closed, work with our posture and a sense of getting grounded. But then the later practices are with our eyes open, so I would encourage you to either move your seat or turn your device in a way that you're not looking directly into the screen. So you can let your eyes gently close and tune into your posture. Feel your sit bones pressing into the seat. Kind of even them out so that you're not leaning on one side or the other, but equally. Your torso is going to be upright but not rigid, and we'll get to a little more on that posture, that part of the posture. But you can feel centered. You can't really describe what centered feels like, but you can tilt a little to the left and to the right until you're not tilted one way or the other. That's center. And bending at the hips forward and back. So you're not leaning forward, tilted back. That's centered. Ideally, if you can, do this without leaning back against something, that's ideal. But if you need to, just scoot your butt back as close to whatever you're leaning against as you can, so you're as upright as you can be. We do this practice sitting up because if we're lying down, there's a tendency to fall asleep. And I know we lie down to do yoga practice sometimes, but then we're doing things, we're moving. And here we're simply being with our body and our breathing. So there's a tendency to fall asleep. And if we're standing up, there's a tendency to want to move. So sitting is putting ourselves in neutral. Now, we got our sit bones centered. And for your legs, you can put if you're on a chair, you can put your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart, so that your lower legs, your shins are vertical, perpendicular to the ground. Now, if your legs are long or your chair is low, or you're seated on a cushion, just cross your legs in front of you with your feet about the same distance away from you, and let your knees widen out so that they're at or lower than the level of your hips. Now back to your torso. We talked about it being upright. And you can feel not just your back, but let that line, that uprightness of your back, continue up the back of your neck and the back of your head to the back of the top of your head, as if there's a straight line from the back of the top of your head down to your tailbone. There isn't, there's a natural curvature. But if you feel that, and feel that your back of your neck and the back of your head is an extension of your spine, you'll see that your chin naturally tucks in a little bit. We're so forward thinking that we go through our lives with our chin out in front leading, and you see older people often stooped over forward that way from years and years of doing that. So now come back to straight upright. Your chin will naturally come in, and it creates a nice passageway that's not crooked for the air to come in your nostrils, up, and then down, straight down your throat and to your lungs. We're going to breathe in mainly through our nostrils. If some air comes out through your mouth, that's okay. So that's your back upright. As far as your front goes, and we're three-dimensional beings, feel a little extra width front to back by raising your sternum just the tiniest bit, center of your breastbone, just a quarter of an inch up and forward. And you'll feel your shoulders naturally come back in line with your ears. You might even feel a little pinch in the back of your shoulder blades. And your chest opens up and opens up your breathing that way. If you get tired, you can relax it, but just a little effort to raise and open your chest. Your upper arms hang straight down from your shoulders, again, perpendicular to the ground, so you're not reaching forward or pulling back. And then let your elbows bend at the elbows and swivel your hands palm down on top of each thigh, so that your forearms run along your thighs out to your hands. We're breathing in through our nostrils, and as I said, if some air comes out through your mouth, that's okay. So you can, whichever's more comfortable, you can leave your lips just very, very lightly touching or slightly parted. We want our jaw to be relaxed, but not hanging slack open. And meditators over the years have discovered if you let your tongue just float up and rest, the tip of your tongue rest gently against the upper palate behind your front teeth, sometimes that reduces the flow of saliva. You can try that, or you can just let your tongue be natural in your mouth, however it is. And as far as saliva goes, if you need to swallow, just swallow. If you have a sharp pain, move. And if you have an itch you need to scratch, or an ache or of some kind, you need to adjust your posture, just do it mindfully. First, acknowledge, say, I'm gonna move, then do the movement, and then go back to your posture. Having taken our posture, let's scan for any unnecessary tension that we're carrying with us that we don't realize. We use our awareness to do that. Starting at the top of your head, feel your scalp. Notice your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw. Again, residual tension there that we don't realize. See if you can let your jaw soften without your mouth hanging open. Neck and shoulders. Again, you may not even realize your shoulders you're holding them up. We get so used to that, we think that's normal, and just don't push them down, but just let them fall naturally. We have a little tension in our chest holding our breastbone up. But around that, upper arms, upper back, just let it soften. Any tension, you can imagine that it's melting and flowing down and out of you into the earth. Rib cage all around, solar plexus, stomach, and now the deep belly, lower back. Without losing your posture, let that deep belly soften and relax. Let the tension melt. We're often clenching deep belly in our pelvic area and don't realize it. Let go without losing your posture. Let it melt. Hips and buttocks, thighs and forearms, hands. Breathe out, let all the tension melt and flow down and out of you. Knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Take a full breath. Start from the top of your head and slowly breathe out and feel like it's one more sweep. All the tension that you don't need for your posture down and out of you and into the earth. Breathe out and feel your weight sinking, really sink into the cushion you're sitting on, the chair or the cushion on the floor. Breathe out and sink down. Breathe out and sink down and feel like you're part of the earth. But that upright posture, dignified like a majestic mountain. Grounded but upright. Let your awareness come to the deep core of your torso, a couple of inches below your navel, just in front of your spine. Again, we're three-dimensional beings. There's a width, front to back, as well as side to side, a depth. As we breathe in and out, our diaphragm is pushing down to pull air in and pushing up to expel the air. And it feels like our deep core, our deep belly is expanding as we breathe in, contracting as we breathe out. Tune into that feeling. Let your body do the breathing. I promise. You don't have to control it. It'll breathe by itself. And just relax into the feeling of that rhythm. It's kind of like a quiet day at the shore of a lake or the ocean. The water gently running up the beach and then turning and going back down into the ocean. Expanding as we inhale, contracting as we exhale. Just relax with that for a few minutes. If your mind wanders off into thoughts, one will follow the other until it leads you into a daydream, and then you're not even feeling your body, you're off into a dream. It'll pop, and when it does, you're already back. Just reconnect with that deep core. Relax into the rhythm, the natural rhythm of your body breathing. And as the gong fades, reconnect with your posture. Let your eyes open about halfway. Look down below your eyelids. It'll be in the direction of a couple of feet in front of you. Traditionally, they say down the angle of your nose. And you see the bit of space in front and a little bit to the sides. You can see your lap. It's the space that your body's sitting in, the space your body's breathing in. Rather than looking at a particular point or object, soften your gaze. It's as if you're looking at the space rather than a thing at the end of your field of vision. And within that space, continue to be aware of the feeling of filling as the breath comes in, emptying as the breath goes out, with a background awareness of your posture and the space you're sitting in. We'll do that for a couple more minutes. If you've gotten sleepy and your eyes closed, your posture's probably fallen a little bit. Just reinvigorate your posture. Open your eyes and look further out. And feel the whole pathway of the breath coming in your nostrils and down, up and out. If your mind has been very busy, again, keep connected to your posture, keep your gaze lowered, and really focus more on the details, the texture of the starting to fill, filling, and full feeling in your deep core, starting to empty, emptying, and empty. Tune in a little more closely to the texture and the sensations. As the gong fades, refresh your posture, move a little bit. It's okay, we can get stale, we can get slumped. And now let your eyes be open naturally. Your gaze will go out and fall slightly below the horizon. And soften your gaze, open up your peripheral vision. You can even soften your eye muscles, the muscles around your eyes. Open up, side to side, top to bottom. Open up your peripheral vision. Take the attitude of opening up your peripheral hearing. That you're open to sounds coming from all directions. Open up to your body, feelings from head to toe. And to facilitate that openness, now the connection with the breathing is not so much inside as the breath going out. As the breath goes out, the actual breath mixes with the atmosphere in the room. In the same way, ride the breath out. As the breath goes out, let your awareness, instead of being so focused on this, on me, open up to that, the spaciousness around you. Breathe out. open and spacious. And just rest in that spaciousness as the body breathes in by itself. That's included in your awareness, but you don't follow it back in. Body breathes in, awareness goes out with the out breath and opens into space. And do that for a couple of minutes. And now, as the breath goes out, just go out with the breath and rest in that spaciousness and don't worry about the next breath. Just rest in openness. Let the body breathe. Not looking for anything particular, but just seeing. Not listening for anything particular, but just hearing. Not trying to feel a particular way, just feeling. Again, if a series of thoughts takes you off into a daydream, just come back, reconnect with the out-breath, a few breaths, and go back into that open spaciousness. Within that spaciousness, we see shapes, colors, and shades of light and dark. We're not seeing them out there. It's light coming through our eyes and appearing in our mind. So we see things in our own particular way. We recognize some of the colors and shapes and shades of light and dark as objects that we give labels to. But it's really just light coming into our eyes, appearing in our minds. We hear sounds, near and far, high and low pitched, loud and soft. We're not hearing them out there. It's vibrations coming in through our ears and appearing in our mind. And sometimes we make a mental label of them. We feel bodily sensations, seemingly different places in our body, but we're not experiencing them there. They're nerve impulses that we experience in our mind. And identify them with a mental label of where they seem to be coming from. And mental labels and thoughts about them are appearances, thoughts appearing in our mind. They appear, exist for a moment, and then disappear. All of these appearances are happening within the spacious awareness of our mind. And as the gong fades, we're going to do a contemplation practice. You can do this with your eyes open or closed. And imagine that your awareness extends out to the sky in all directions. All beings on this earth are under that same sky. Different places, but the same sky. The ground below you, the earth, all beings are on the same planet. Some in water, some on the earth, but all the same earth. Different places, but the same earth. Between the sky and the earth, all beings are moving in the same atmosphere. Water or air, different places, but the same atmosphere. So we're all in this together, and we all share the wish to survive and thrive, to have the well-being of peace, health, and happiness, security, comfort. We all share the wish to be free from suffering in body and mind, danger, fear, illness, injury, anxiety, depression. You can either start with someone close to you, a group of people that you know, as big as you want to make it, and imagine that as you breathe in, you can relieve people of their suffering. And as you breathe out, you can send out rays of kindness that fills their beings with well-being, health, happiness, security, comfort, all those qualities I described. As you breathe out, relieving them of the suffering of body and mind. As you breathe in, relieving them of the suffering of body and mind. As you breathe out, sending them well-being in body and mind. All this comes from your heart of kindness and compassion. If it's helpful, you can put your hand palm down on your center of your breastbone, the heart level at the center of your chest. Compassion is the wish that others and ourselves be free of suffering in body and mind. Sending kindness is wishing well-being for ourselves and others in body and mind. Just alternate in that way for a couple of minutes. And now we can go a little bit deeper. And the cause of so much suffering in the world are the poisonous emotions: pride, envy, hatred, intolerance, greed, lust for power. And what brings goodness into the world is wisdom, acceptance, loving kindness. And all of those poisonous emotions are based in ignorance. So breathing in, imagine that you could free all beings, liberate them from the bonds of ignorance, hatred, intolerance, greed. And as you breathe out, you can send and fill them with wisdom and selfless love. Send out understanding, acceptance, and tolerance, kindness, and caring. And as the gong fades, let go of the contemplation, all that you're imagining, and come back to the present moment, your body, your posture, the space you're sitting in, and be with your breathing just for a couple of minutes. We conclude these sessions with a further aspiration that we just don't do it during this session, but we aspire that throughout the day we can be as mindful and kind as possible. And again, coming back to our original intention, to be as authentic and responsive in our relationship with others, so that we're doing this not just for our benefit. So you can repeat after me this aspiration, or put in your own words: may the practice we have just done be of even more benefit to others than to ourselves. And that's really extending generosity. So thank you very much for your kind attention and practice of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion.